Alright, so what you're about to see in this video, you're definitely not going to see this anywhere else on YouTube or internet for that matter, because this has been one of the most difficult videos for me to make. It took me a lot of time, effort and hard work to bring this in front of you, and if you recognize that effort after watching this video, make sure that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button of my channel and also give me a thumbs up by hitting that like button. Because at the end of this video, you'll have all the information you need in making the right decision among selecting the 3 top budget dash cams which are available in the market today. Well, I'm talking about the newly released Nexdigitron Prime and its closest rival, the DDPAI N1 Dual, and also a very newly released dash camera, that is a Nexdigitron A3 Pro. So let's not waste any time and jump in straight into the ultimate comparison of these 3 dash cameras. Let's get started. So here are the 3 dash cameras which you have been looking for, and here on the left you have the Nexdigitron A3 Pro, on the right have the DDPAI N1 dual channel, so this is the front version, and finally the new contender, the Nexdigitron Prime. So all 3 dash cameras, I have them with me right now. So straight away, as you can see, the Nexdigitron A3 Pro and the DDPAI N1 Dual have more or less a similar form factor, wherein the Nexdigitron A3 Pro has a complete rectangular shape. In case of the DDPAI N1, it has a sort of a curve at both the edges, which gives it a more premium feel. And also in terms of the build quality, I definitely think the DDPAI N1 feels a bit more premium in the hand compared to the A3 Pro. And in terms of the Nexdigitron Prime, again this feels a bit plasticky compared to the DDPAI N1. But overall, I think both the Nexdigitron A3 Pro and the Nexdigitron Prime have a similar build, but the DDPAI N1 has a slightly better build quality compared to these 2 dash cameras, is what I feel. Taking a look at different sides of the dash camera, so if you can see right now, on the left side of the Prime you have the power on off button and you have the micro SD card slot. On the left side of the N1 Dual there is a speaker grill and a similarly placed speaker grill for the A3 Pro as well. Taking a look at the right side, so turning the dash cam, so here as you can see, both the A3 Pro and the N1 Dual get a lid for the micro SD card slot and the reset slot. Here on the A3 Prime there is no lid as such. You have direct access and there is a USB Type-C power port and the AV in for the rear port. So where's the rear port for the N1 Dual, you might ask? So the rear port for the N1 Dual lies on top of the camera. So the Type-C power port for the front and the AV in port for the rear camera lies on top of the dash cam. You also get some parking LEDs at the front for the A3 Pro and the DDPAI N1 Dual. So I think this is a LED on the left side corner here and there's a LED here. There is no parking LED as such for the Nexdigitron Prime. You only get a LED at the back which indicates that it's working. At the bottom we have this broad base for the Prime with all the ventilation holes. Considering the bottom part, I think if you combine these 2 dash cameras you get the width as much as the Prime, combining the A3 Pro and the DDPAI N1 Dual. So in terms of the broadness, the Prime is definitely a very broad dash camera, and considering the length, it's slightly longer compared to both the A3 Pro and the DDPAI N1 Dual. So coming to the most important point, that is the price. The Nexdigitron A3 Pro comes at a price of 3899 rupees. The Nexdigitron Prime comes at a price of 7999 rupees. And the DDPAI N1 Dual comes at a price of 6499 rupees. The most prominent and the most important difference between these 3 dash cameras is that the Nexdigitron Prime has a GPS support, but the Nexdigitron A3 Pro and the DDPAI N1 do not support GPS. Another aspect where there is a difference which might matter to you is that the Nexdigitron A3 Pro and the Nexdigitron Prime both support memory cards up to 128 GB, whereas the DDPAI N1 Dual supports memory cards up to 256 GB. The other important area which might matter to you is the resolution of these cameras. The Nexdigitron A3 Pro and the DDPAI N1 Dual both support a 1296p resolution, whereas the Nexdigitron Prime has a 1440p resolution. Now let's take a look at the video samples and the license plate readability of these three dash cameras. So taking a look at the video samples of all three dash cameras side by side, on top you see the Nexdigitron A3 Pro, in the middle you have the DDPAI N1 Dual, and at the bottom you find the Nexdigitron Prime. I have given all the detailed technical specifications of these videos on the right side. So straight away let's jump into the license plate readability at a very close range and take a look which of these cameras performs the best. So here are the license plate samples. Now you can make out that almost all the three samples are exactly the same. Well, there's not a major difference, there's not a drastic difference between the video samples in terms of reading the number plates. I mean, the clarity and the legibility of each letter and number is more or less exactly the same. The only thing you can make out is that the sample from the DDPAI N1 Dual looks more yellowish than normal, and the sample of the A3 Pro and the Nexdigitron Prime look more or less the same in terms of color tone and in terms of clarity. Now continuing on to the footage and waiting till the bus moves a bit about 20 feet away from my car and jumping into the license plate readability again. Now at a far range, as you can see, now the clarity has come down, the image has started to get blurred, and the letters and numbers, they are slightly difficult to read now. But again, in comparison, the N1 Dual sample looks more yellowish because the video has a sort of a warmer tone, and the sample from the A3 Pro and the Prime looks pretty much similar. In terms of the clarity, I can say that the A3 Pro and the N1 Dual have a sharper footage, and because of that the license plate read also looks a bit more sharper, and the letters and the numbers look more straightened up. In terms of the Nexdigitron Prime, it has a slightly overexposed video footage with lesser amount of sharpness, and because of this you find a smoothed out license plate readability. And in comparison, in this particular sample, the license plate readability of the Prime offers a slight better improvement in terms of clarity compared to the other two dash cameras. Coming to the nighttime comparison of the video footages from all three dash cameras, a similar experience. You see a slight yellow tone on the N1 Dual. The A3 Pro gives the best video footage in terms of having a perfectly balanced exposure and contrast levels. The Nexdigitron Prime also gives a very decent footage, although I must say it is slightly overexposed and you'd see a slight white tint on the particular video. Now let's zoom in and let's wait until I get a bit close to the car right in front of me to get a good license plate read. Now about a distance of, I think this is 10 feet, if we take a look at the license plate readabilities of all three cameras. So as you can see, the comparison at a distance of 10 feet, especially when the headlights of my car are hitting the license plates directly. You can clearly make out that the N1 Dual and the Nexdigitron Prime license plate reads are whitewashed because they are in line with the direct glare of my headlight. But surprisingly, the A3 Pro turns out to be a winner in this because it is able to compensate for that extra glare and still give you a good license plate read. Now, what I have shown in my previous videos regarding the Nexdigitron Prime giving you a whitewash look, even in this example, the result is pretty consistent with that. But here's the trick: if you get a bit more closer when the license plate is not directly in range of my headlights and lies slightly at the border of it, and if we take a look at the license plate, so as you can see now, you can make out the license plate from all the three cameras, especially when the license plate is not directly in range of the headlight. Now even in this example, I think the A3 Pro gives a better license plate read. You can even make out the individual I and D lettering at the left corner of the plate. In terms of the clarity of the N1 Dual and the Prime, the N1 Dual carries a bit more noise compared to the other dash cameras, and the Prime gives you a very soft image and a lightly overexposed image compared to the A3 Pro and the N1 Dual. So this again is consistent with what I have shown you in my previous videos of the Nexdigitron Prime and the DDPAI N1 Dual, that their license plate readabilities at night are good when the license plate is not lying directly in line of the headlights. Now overall footage quality again does seem pretty decent to me at night. You will get a good quality of all these three dash cameras, a decent quality while taking video footages at night. Coming to the rear camera quality, now it's only the competition between the N1 Dual and the Nexdigitron Prime because the A3 Pro doesn't have a rear camera. You can straight away make out that the N1 Dual gives you a more yellowish video, because of its warmer tone, and the Nexdigitron Prime gives you a more natural looking video in comparison because it has a more cooler tone when compared to the N1 Dual. Now let's jump into the license plate read. Now as you can see, Mahindra Bolero is very close to me, and there is a school bus right next to it which is slightly farther away. Let's take a look at the license plate read of both these vehicles. So at a close range, as you can see, in terms of reading the license plate of the Bolero, both the images are pretty much the same in terms of clarity. You can make out that the only difference comes in the color tone, wherein the N1 Dual gives you a yellowish footage and the Nexdigitron Prime gives you a more cooler, slightly bluish footage. The letters and numbers are more or less the same in terms of their clarity, and you can read the number plate at a very close range of about 5 to 10 feet. Taking a look at the license plate of the school bus, which was slightly farther away, I think more than 10 feet away, you can again make out that the N1 Dual has a more yellowish tone and the Prime gives you a more natural tone. In terms of the letters and numbers, you can make out the number plate, and in terms of their clarity, I think both license plate reads are exactly the same. I cannot say for sure like one camera is doing its job better than the other in terms of clarity. They are exactly the same, and since both cameras are 1080p cameras, so they are giving a very consistent and a equal result. Coming to the night footage, I think the Nexdigitron Prime is giving a slight white look at the video because of its overexposure, and the N1 Dual giving you a more contrasty look. Taking a look at the license plate read at a moderate range, now as you can see there is a duster standing right behind my car. If we zoom in on the license plate, the N1 Dual giving you a slightly sharper and a warmer look. The Nexdigitron Prime 2 is giving you a good read of the license plate, although in comparison it is looking less contrasty and less sharpness. It gives you a more smoothed out and a slightly overexposed image. Now again, this is not a huge difference. This is a very minor difference. This is not something which you will notice unless you compare the license plate reads side by side as I am showing in the video. In real life terms, this is not going to make a major difference. So open up your smartphone and head into the GadiCam app. So as you can see, the main interface of the GadiCam app is now opened up, and it says GadiCam by Nexdigitron, and it also says you have not added a dash cam, and there's a straight up red color button here which says add dash camera. So let's click on that. So as soon as you click on that, you get the option to enable the location. Click on the setup button. It is going to open up the location settings, so click on enable here and head back to the GadiCam app. Then again click on the add dash camera button. So now a new page has opened up showing you how you can wire up the dash cam. Then click on the next button. Now you have the button, as I said previously, which says connect Wi-Fi, and they have also provided the default Wi-Fi password, that is the numbering from 1 to 0. Click on connect Wi-Fi button. So the Wi-Fi networks have opened up. So here you can find the Prime network. So let's just see where the Prime network is. So here is the Prime network. If I click on that, it will ask me to enter the password. So the password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 0. So now the dash camera has been successfully connected. So this is the main interface of the GadiCam app. You have this rear camera view on top in a small square, and in the large square you see the front camera view. You can switch through the views as well. There is a switch camera button. So currently you are taking a look at the front camera. If I click on the switch camera button, the rear camera window opens up, and if you click on it again, multi window opens up which shows both front and the rear camera views. So in the middle you have the speedometer here, so you can actually monitor the speed of the car if the app is open while driving. So here you have the album section, you have the pause recording button, you have the snapshot button, and here you have the settings button. So if we click on the settings button, let's just dive onto the settings. So on top, the first setting you find is the sound recording, which means you can mute or unmute the mic of the dashcam. You have a enable or disable switch. Then you have the speaker volume, which you can set at high, medium or low. So this will give you the notifications based on the volume condition. Following this, you have the important option, that is the video resolution. If you click on this, you only get one option at the bottom, and that is 2K plus 1080p. There is no mention of any frame rate, or there is no other option where you can select some alternative frame rate such as maybe 1080p plus 1080p.
Then you have the loop recording duration. So this means the duration of each recording, if the memory card is full, will automatically be overwritten from the earliest video. So this is the loop recording, and if you click on that, you have the option of extending the video recording up to 3 minutes per file, or you can select 1 minute per file video duration. Following this, you have the timestamp, which will imprint the current time on the video. You can enable or disable that. And then you have the option to mirror the rear camera. So in case if you have installed the rear camera inverted, you can mirror the rear camera. So this is an important option. Then you have the collision sensing option here. So in collision sensing, when the dash cam is in recording mode, it will automatically lock current video when an impact is detected. Then in terms of the parking mode, you have this parking monitoring time lapse option, which you can enable or disable. There is no mention of any frame rate within this. Then you have the Wi-Fi name, you have the Wi-Fi password, you have the firmware version. Following that, you have the option to format the SD card, and you have the option to reset the dash camera. So these are the limited set of options which you get within the in-app settings for the Nexdigitron Prime dash cam. So showing you the comparison with the DDPAI app. So as you can see, currently I have opened up the DDPAI app, and I'll just connect with the camera, that is the N1 Dual. So since I have already connected with its Wi-Fi network, it is pre-stored within the app. So here is the main home screen of the DDPAI app. So it is currently giving you a live preview of the front camera. So here is a switch camera button, and if I click on that, so here you go, this is the rear camera view being shown on the app. So this is pretty much similar to the Gadicam app which we saw. At the bottom you have the image capture button, and then you have the download button. Let me just switch back to the front camera view. So let's head into the settings of the N1 Dual. So here you go, the settings are now currently opened up. So at first you find the speaker volume option. So again, you can set it at high, medium or low. Then you have the switching tone option, which means it will give you a tone while turning on or turning off. You can enable or disable that. Then you have the dash cam installation guide. You can turn it off or turn it on. Then for the rear camera, you have actually two options: rear lens screen rotate up and down, rear lens screen flips left and right. So in case of the Gadicam app, you had only the mirror option for the rear camera. In case of the DDPAI N1, you have the rotate up and down option and the flip screen left and right option. Then you have the H.265 video encoding option for the DDPAI N1. You can enable or disable it. Then you have the recording resolution. If you click on that, you have the two options, 1296p and 1080p. So in case of the Nexdigitron Prime, the option was fixed at 2K plus 1080p. Then coming to the microphone recording, again the ability to mute or unmute the default mic of the dash camera. You can enable or disable that. Then you have the date watermark, which is similar to the timestamp option found in the Gadicam app. Then you have the duration of the videos associated with photos captured. This means it will create a related video clip with preset length when taking a photo. So whenever you take a photo, a preset length of video will also be recorded automatically. You can turn it off actually, or you can set it at 10-second video or a 20-second video or a 30-second video. So let's head back. So here you can find the collision sensitivity. This means take photos automatically when the device is working and detecting an impact. So in this you have separate options for the driving mode and the parking monitoring mode. So let's head into the driving mode. So in this you have the high option, medium or a middle for the sensitivity of the G sensor. So in this case, in case of the high option, it is very likely to trigger a photo when there is a slight touch or a bumpy road. So in case of the middle high, may trigger photo taking when there is a slight rubbing or bumpy road. And in case of the middle, may be triggered to take photos when colliding or passing speed bumps. Then you have middle and low, may be triggered to take pictures when there is a strong collision. Then you have the low option, shooting will be triggered under strong collision. Close, this function will not be available after closing. Then you have the custom option as well, where you can manually set the sensitivity of the G sensor. It is giving you a bar here. You can set the sensitivity at your required percentage level and not the preset levels. So this is quite a lot of options provided within the N1 settings, and this is just for the driving duration. If you head back and head into the parking monitoring section, again you can find the entire set of options: high, middle and low, low option, close option, which is turn it off completely, or again you can set the sensitivity based on your requirement, custom sensitivity. You can select the exact percentage to which the G sensor should be sensitive about. These are much wider level of options compared to the Nexdigitron Prime's GadiCam app options. So now after the collision sensitivity, you have this shutdown setting, which means automatic shutdown 15 minutes after parking. Then at the bottom you have the dashcam Wi-Fi name, the Wi-Fi password. You can manage the dashcam storage like formatting the SD card. Then you have the about device section right here. So these are the options present within the DDPAI N1 dashcam, and I think these are a slightly better and a wider range of options compared to the Nexdigitron Prime's GadiCam app.
Also, an important thing to note is that the A3 Pro has a built-in vehicle battery protection feature. Well, you can access this within the Umera app once the camera is connected to the app within your smartphone. So as you can see, here is the vehicle battery protection option. So let me just scroll down a bit to show you clearly. So as you can see now, this is the vehicle battery protection, and it says that to protect battery, the dash cam will turn off automatically when it detects the battery is below the selected voltage. So this means you have manual control over how much battery is to be left out before the camera turns off. So as you can see, it is currently selected at middle, which is 12 volt, but if I click on that, you get different options. So I'll just scroll up above and show you. So these are the options that are present, that is high voltage 12.4 volts, middle voltage 12 volts, and low voltage, that is 11.8 volts. So if you select the low voltage, the dash cam will run to the point until the battery reaches the low voltage of 11.8. If you select the high point, the dash cam will run until the battery reaches the voltage of 12.4 volts, and the dash cam will automatically turn off. So coming back to the main settings screen, you have other options which you can play around with. So first option is after vehicle is turned off, you can make the camera enter the time-lapse mode, or you can make it enter the ordinary mode, or you can make it enter the sleep mode. So zooming in on these options, let me just go ahead and show you. So as you can see, the first option is the time-lapse mode. Now this will greatly save device storage space, but the play speed will be fast. And following this, you have the ordinary video, normal recording, but will overwrite the oldest files when the memory card gets full. So you can enable ordinary video recording even during parking monitoring, or you can activate the sleep mode, which is the standby mode, and device will wake up only by the emergency event, which are triggered by the G sensor sensitivity. So heading back onto the main screen. Now you have the video duration selections, which means you can select for how long the dash camera should be turned on for parking monitoring. If you select that, you have the options of 12 hours, 24 hours, and up to 48 hours of parking monitoring. Well, the camera will probably turn off before that because the battery will definitely come down. And this is the main option, that is battery vehicle protection, which I just showed you now. And in the OBD2 model, you get parking monitoring right out of the box. So these are the important options which I needed to show you in regards to the A3 Pro's parking monitoring features. So you guys should tell me now which of these three dash cameras you're going to select and what's the reason for it. Now I've put in front of you all the information about all of these dash cameras and put them in a comparison manner. But if you still want to check out in detail about any of these three dash cameras, I have made specific videos on each of these dash cameras, and all the links to those specific videos will be provided in the description below. You can go ahead and check out those individual videos as well. Also, if you are interested in purchasing any of these three dash cameras, the links to purchase them are also given in the description below. So tell me how helpful this video has been to you in making the right choice. And in spite of this detailed video, if you still have any concerns, if you still have any queries, you can of course write that down in the comments and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. So reminding you once back again, this video has took a lot of effort, planning, hard work to bring in front of you. I hope you recognize that effort. And if you do, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and smash that like button to show that you support and like my work. It would mean a lot to me. Many more interesting and amazing videos are coming up in the future. Make sure you do not miss those. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.